we're going to talk about a very exciting topic. We're going to be discussing a topic that is rarely discussed openly, but it is so true because many of us are facing it. As a matter of fact, I've faced it myself. And today, we're going to bring it all out. How motherhood impacts our sex life. Yes, I said it. Motherhood is great, but it can impact your sex life if you're bringing a newborn home, okay? So if you've ever felt like your bedroom spark just fizzled under the weight of diaper changes, late night feedings, endless to-do lists, you're not alone. And so in this video, we are going to unpack together and figure out exactly what is happening in your body and how to rekindle intimacy when you have a newborn to get your sanity back. Motherhood is a beautiful journey. I'm telling you, it is a journey that is filled with joy, laughter, and countless milestones. It's a natural thing. Like us as women, our bodies were made to do these things. It's able to do this. I always say that women are so special because we are the only species that can ovulate, menstruate, gestate, parturiate, and lactate. 5 things that men cannot do, right? And all of these things are meant to nurture another human being, a baby. And so motherhood is an incredibly beautiful thing. Even God, when he chose to walk on the surface of the earth, took the flesh as man, came through a woman, Mary, right? Jesus laid in the womb of a woman, went through the birth canal. Yes, I just said that, and was born. Okay, and so there's something special about being a woman and motherhood, and it hurts me these days when I hear a lot of women saying that, oh, we don't want to have children because it's too much work. And every time I hear that, I'm like, yeah, but that's how you got here, girl. That is how you got here. That's how we maintain our species. God created us like that. And motherhood, to me, as a mother of 5 children, yes, 5 children, I will tell you that being a mother has been one of my greatest blessings. And some people want to be mothers, they are paying a lot of money to be mothers, it hasn't happened for them. And then some people just have it, and it's not because we are better than other people. So if you're a mother, if you're pregnant, or you've ever carried a child, it's just a blessing. It's just the grace of God, really, because other people could even carry it better than you, and maybe they don't have it for whatever reason. Life is just, God has plans and purposes for everybody. So motherhood is really a special gift, and it's important for us to embrace this gift rather than just reject it. But let's face it, like every other gift, sometimes it comes with its own unique challenges. Okay, when you bring a newborn home, I'll tell you that it's not easy. You got to feed them every 2 hours, change diapers. So many things happens that I think that in a moment your priorities change, and when you don't have the right structure and the right tools in place, you might forget things. You might forget to prioritize even your marriage and your relationship. And in this video, I'm going to give you the exact tips on how to do that, how to partner with your spouse to make all of these things happen so that both of you can enjoy this new season with a newborn. Let's be real, there's another side of motherhood that can be challenging. A study published in the Journal of Sex Research, yes, there's a journal like that, found that 70% of women experience decrease in sexual desire postpartum, largely due to fatigue, stress, and body image concerns. So what exactly is happening? Well, I'm going to tell you what is happening, because when you have a whole human being, when you give birth, your body changes. Okay, the reason your sexual drive has gone down, there's so many reasons, and one of it is hormones. Yes, because as soon as you have a baby, your prolactin, which is a hormone, goes up. That's what allows you to make breast milk. And once that goes up, there's a significant decrease in estrogen. And estrogen is supposed to be your libido friend, right? It's supposed to help you sexually, right? It increases your libido. And so with an increase in prolactin and a decrease in estrogen, sometimes it happens. I would say that it's not for every woman, because sometimes it might vary, right? Some people even want it more after having the child but some people it just declines. So everybody is different. But the reason why maybe you are not interested in sex as much as you did before is because your body is changing. Hormones, you brought a new baby home, so there's the hormone part of it. There is the body image. I mean, when I was pregnant with my first child, I gained 50 pounds, and I look at myself in the mirror for the first time and I couldn't recognize me. I'm like, ooh, this is huge. That happened, but give yourself grace. You literally just carried a human being for 9 whole months. Okay, so body image, when you become too focused on yourself, you can lose that desire to you even lose the desire to have sex. Another thing is physical exhaustion. Okay, bringing a newborn home is work. It's not easy. You feed them every 2 hours. So I remember my husband and I would work this thing out, where I would go to bed at 8 p.m. and then he would stay up to like 12, and then I take over from 12 and feed the baby at 2 and then feed the baby at 4, but we were taking turns. Physically, it is exhausting because you're used to sleeping through the night, but with a newborn home, it's just not gonna happen. You're gonna have to constantly feed them. And then there is the mental exhaustion. Sometimes because you're not getting enough sleep, you also get mentally exhausted. And I also want to add that during this season is a very critical season. Motherhood is, I think that when you bring a newborn home, it's actually a spiritual season also, because children are a gift from God. That's what the Bible says. The children are a blessing. And the enemy can also bring you some ideas, right? And so many mothers go into postpartum depression, right? The enemy can tell you, whisper things in your ears. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not worthy enough. Who's going to like you? Look at you. You are 100 pounds heavier. All of these things. And you get so emotional. And if you're not careful and you don't get the help that you need, you can find yourself in a very dark way, and it can lead you really, really down. So we have to make sure that we are also paying attention to our mental health. I always tell people that do the Philippians test, because in Philippians chapter 4, Paul talks about things that we should meditate on. Whatever is true, whatever is good, whatever is noble, whatever is praiseworthy, if there are things to think about, to dwell on, meditate on these things. So when the enemy comes and tells you different things, that you're going to lose this baby, this child is going to die, because the enemy thrives in fear. He brings fears, and when you are afraid, you can start heading nose down, okay? And the enemy brings all of these thoughts, doubt, things about your self-image, about your marriage, about your child, and you start to go down a narrow path. You need to rise up and rebuke those thoughts, because it's not true that you don't have any worth. It's true that your life matters. So if your life matters and the enemy says, well, your life does not matter, just end it all, you know that is a lie. You don't meditate on those thoughts. So be careful of those thoughts, because the mental exhaustion is real, and the enemy will bring you so many things, will blow things out of proportion in your mind. You get incredibly emotional. So many different things are happening. So it's important that when you bring a newborn home, as you're making time to rest, make time to spend in the presence of God. Sometimes just laying down and say, God, I need your help. It's a very simple prayer, and I can tell you that the God who created you knows exactly what you need in every season. He knows when you're exhausted. He knows every one of those pieces, and he can meet you right there. So sometimes a very simple prayer: God, I've been up all night. I am exhausted emotionally, physically, mentally. I need your help. God is going to give you the help that you need. You just rely on his strength. So now let's flip the script and talk about some practical things that you can do today. If you're a new mom, you just brought a new child home, and you're realizing that with this new addition to your family, your sexual life is sort of heading down, or your intimacy with your spouse is going down. Here are some of the things that you can do. One, I talked about our mental health. Recognize the voice that is speaking to you. A voice that is not from God will lead you to a path of anxiety, depression, things that you cannot control. The enemy will blow so many things out of proportion. So practice gratitude. Gratitude is the healthiest human emotion. We know it because when you practice gratitude, it rewires your brain. So look at that baby and say, you are my gift from God. God gifted you to me. God entrusted you in my hand as to be your steward. God, I'm so thankful for this precious gift. I thank you for my spouse. I thank you for this season that you have entrusted a whole human being into my hands. The more you verbalize these things, the more you even connect with your child, hold that child, kiss that child, cling onto that child. That is a gift, because you know what? Sometimes the enemy might make motherhood, especially in this critical season, so burdensome that you look at your child and you don't even want to. People kill their children because their mind is so exhausted, and now they've gone through such a dark part that they see motherhood as such a daunting task that they literally kill their children. If you are feeling that is not from God, that's from the enemy, get the help you need immediately so that you can be healed mentally. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is so important. Thank God that you have this baby. Like, people want babies, they don't have it. You have a baby, you're holding a baby. You literally just went through 9 months of pregnancy and you're back alive with your child. Be thankful. That can help you a lot with your brain. Second point, communication. Communication is key. I can't even emphasize it enough. Talk openly with your spouse. They may not realize that you are struggling and may interpret your low libido to rejection. They're like, well, why is it that you don't want us to date? Maybe you don't want me. Maybe I'm not good enough for you. But maybe you are actually struggling internally. And so open communication really, really, really helps. 2, prioritize connection. Don't worry about the dirty dishes and all of it. Some of you are so perfectionist, like you want everything to be perfect. Just because you have brought a newborn home, everything has to be sterile, clean, and purified and sanctified. Take a chill pill, okay? It's okay. The dishes can wait for another 20 minutes. Make time for what truly matters. Make time for your spouse. And yes, you don't have 4 hours to be sitting on the beach with your spouse. You have a newborn. For me, if you can get a lot of time, great. But if you can't get a lot of time, quality is important. Even the 10 minutes, maybe a 10-minute walk. Maybe for me personally, sometimes my husband and I will just stand in our driveway and just look at each other, hold each other's hands, or maybe a warm hug. It helps a lot. Like, literally, it releases some of these stress. Okay, sometimes we just stand behind our house and just look outdoor and just have a very casual conversation. It helps. Like, it is still quality time, right? It's still quality time. It builds intimacy. Engage in number 3, engage in some non-sexual physical affection, like hugging and cuddling and holding hands and kissing. Yeah, because once you have a newborn home, you actually physically have to heal, right? Whether it's a C-section or a vaginal delivery, actual intercourse may not be able to happen. And so what do you do in those instances? You can still practice intimacy. Intimacy does not always have to be sex. Hugging, holding hands, kissing, cuddling, talking, like all of these things tells you, it fosters connection and allows you to realize that you're not alone, you have a partner. So partner with your spouse to do this and make this season work. And remember, bringing a newborn home is a temporary thing. Like, the children, they don't stay as newborn forever, thank God. After a while, like I say, like after 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, after 6 months, most babies are literally sleeping through the night. At most, by a year, many of them are literally cruising through the night. And so this is not like a forever thing. So adjust to the season as your body can. Number 4, schedule sex. Oh my God, I can't even emphasize this enough. I know it doesn't sound romantic to schedule sex, but I'm telling you that when you schedule things, you tell your brain that I have this appointment, it is going to happen. Because sometimes when we don't schedule it, we think it's going to happen, but it never happened. And so 1 week goes, 2 weeks goes, 3 weeks goes, and it's never happened because everybody is exhausted. But if you schedule it and you know that, oh, okay, today is Friday, I am going to be sexually intimate with my spouse, then on that day, as you are sorting out what to do, maybe that might be a day that you might decide that, well, I'm not going to go grocery shopping. The time that I will use to go grocery shopping, I'll take a nap so that I have a little bit more energy to be able to be sexually intimate with my spouse, and work together. I always tell people that, sex does not start in the bedroom. It starts in the morning with the way that we talk to each other, asking for help, appreciating each other, the little things that we are doing to build connection. If all of that has happened in the morning, then when it's time to have sex, it's just it's a smooth ride. Okay, so partner with your spouse so that you guys can make this happen. Schedule it. There's nothing wrong with it. Schedule it. And maybe sometimes I tell people that it can be like, okay, I'm going to do it because I have to do it. Because again, if you think about it, sex is the only gifts you can give to your spouse. They can't get it anywhere. They can get food everywhere. They can get a cleaner to come and clean the house. But sex is something that you can give to each other. And I'm not just talking to the women, I'm talking also to the men, because when we bring a newborn home, everybody's schedule changes. The men are also helping the wives with the baby, and so they may also be exhausted. So there may be other relationship where the new mom wants to be sexually intimate with her husband, but the husband is always tired because there's a newborn at home who is always crying at night, and then he can't get enough sleep and all of that. But if you know that my wife cannot get sex anywhere except from me, my husband cannot get sex anywhere except from me, then you can prioritize that this is a gift that we get to give to each other, because we can't get it anywhere. When we are tired, we can order food. When we need a cleaner, we can get someone to come clean for us. But when it comes to sex, nobody can do it for you. So when you have that mindset, you make every effort to prioritize it, because it's a gift that you get to give to your spouse. So make sure that you schedule, so there's no shame. If your scheduling says kudos, it is good. Schedule it until it becomes a part of you, because when you're transitioning from I don't want to do it to maybe I can sort of try it, maybe you got to start from scheduling until you get to a point where you're like, I really want this and I really want to keep doing this because I'm excited. But do whatever it takes to make this part work. I can't emphasize enough, sex is a very important component in marriage. In fact, in 1 Corinthians 7:5, the Apostle Paul, when he was writing to the Corinthian church, he said that do not withhold sex from one another unless both of you have agreed to devote a period of time to pray or fast. Then come together after that agreed time is over. Come together so that Satan does not tempt you. In other words, when you let a long time pass without any sexual intimacy, you are opening the door for Satan to tempt you. You're literally, this is how I describe it to the clients that I coach, you're literally giving the keys to your house to a thief. Who would do that in their right mind? But that's what many of us are doing when we deliberately withhold sex from our husbands or our wives. We are literally giving the keys to Satan, because we are creating a silo in the home. And so make sure that you're making every effort. Just as you will not give your keys to a thief to come into your house, make every effort to prioritize sexual intimacy. And finally, ask for help. Oh my goodness, ask for help. I remember when I had my first child, that was like almost 13 years ago, and I can tell you how I felt. I was so in love with this baby. Like, my mom wanted to help me with the child, and every time she takes the child, like, I'm like looking at my watch, okay, 15 minutes later I want my child back. Like, I want to hold the child. I can't get enough of this child. But ask for help and allow people to help you, because bringing a newborn home is a lot of work. And I remember my mom was like, let me take this child, go get a nap. And I'm like, Mom, I nap for 5 minutes, I'm done. I want to hold this baby. Like, I can hold this baby for the rest of my life and I will still not be tired. Like, this is the cutest baby I've ever seen. But when people are giving you help, receive the help. Sometimes you have to learn to delegate tasks. This is a time where delegation, there's nothing wrong with delegation. Delegate tasks, okay? You cannot do everything else in the world. The things that you can do it. The things that other people can help you with, allow them to help you. So there you have it. Motherhood is an incredible blessing. It's not supposed to rob you of your joy or your connection with your spouse. In fact, it's meant to do the exact opposite, which is to bring more joy into your marriage and increase your connection, because now you get to parent with your spouse and just parent this baby that both of you, God has used both of you to create. So a child is not meant to disconnect you from your spouse. It's actually meant to bring you guys together in a different way. And so enjoy this moment. And remember, this season is temporary, it is not permanent. So enjoy this. Invest in your marriage. Be intentional about prioritizing your marriage. Prioritize your wife, prioritize your husband. Because seriously, you don't have anybody else. This baby that is coming between you will one day grow and just leave the house, and you're going to be left with each other. So don't make excuses about the baby. No, do not make excuses about the baby. For more tips, don't forget to subscribe, and God bless you.